to ensure that products that we're putting out there are products that are able to continue to encourage our own local economy.
Nigeria enters another strategic partnership, signs MOU with multilateral partners on energy. Nigerian Air Force refutes allegations of misfire at Tundumbiri village in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State.
Have to increase advocacy, remove stigma and shame, so AIDS shouldn't be a stigma to anyone.
Nigeria's First Lady says conference on AIDS has opened the country to valuable knowledge on challenges and solutions to HIV/AIDS pandemic in Africa. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. Nigeria has entered another strategic partnership with a leading European manufacturing factory, another multilateral partners for the production of lightweight solar panel after the signing of memoranda of understanding on the sidelines of COP28 in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Charles Alpha reports that this is coming barely hours after securing a deal on electrification.
Nigeria started seeing tangible results of negotiations barely 4 days into COP28. Two memoranda of understanding, all on accelerating Nigeria's climate commitment and just transition. Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria, African Green Infrastructure Investment Bank and Solarge will by this commitment create a solar panel in the country using recycling plastics.
So this MOU you are signing today is going to support our intention to extend electricity access to the rural dwellers.
The PV manufacturing plant will be one of the large-scale production facilities in the world for lightweight panels with ultra-low carbon footprints.
The project that we're talking about touches on three things. Number one is local manufacturing. Number two, it's green manufacturing. Number three, it's renewable energy equipment manufacturing.
Capital is being mobilized to finance a green industrialization strategy, and that is something which I think is a testament to the change that we see in the area of climate finance, and Africa is leading the way with this project.
We believe a new era of made in Nigeria, clean and efficient energy solutions and technologies.
It is actually going to be an example of how we can trade across borders.
Another MOU was signed by the National Council on Climate Change on behalf of the federal government with the African Climate Foundation.
AFC is providing catalytic financing to the National Council on Climate Change for implementation of climate change policies, development of climate change projects, green projects that will also lead to the earning of carbon credits.
The federal government power company also recently signed an MOU with Siemens Energy to help build Nigeria energy sources. From Dubai, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
As Nigeria continues harnessing positive outcomes and agreements at the ongoing COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai, guests on Good Morning Nigeria say focusing on adaptation to help Nigeria and Africa manage the dire unfolding consequences of climate change must be prioritized. Lydia Sampson reports.
The right words and commitments expressed at the ongoing COP28 Climate Summit, guests on Good Morning Nigeria believe must translate into action for climate change war to be won. While experts are on the same page that attaining net zero emission is a brilliant target for the world, the models of operation on getting there for many differs.
We are able to implement some of our commitments, and we are able to take our statements into actions. The world is on the trajectory of winning the war against climate change.
The Climate Change Act, for which Nigeria is relying on for guidance to participate in the COP, is aimed at mainstreaming climate change actions in everything that Nigeria is doing.
We are going to be doing a lot of investment in renewable energy that even farmers can also use. There's going to be a lot of exploration of other energy mix that we have not been exploring, that are just at the primary stage.
Nigeria, the guest noted, must prioritize the country's peculiarities and interests for a just and seamless transition.
The coming together of government and private sector at this gathering has opened tremendous opportunities for people to engage at the bilateral level.
What we need to do is focus on what we can do to adapt our people to the already present effects of climate change and the future impacts of climate change as well. And we need to prepare our farmers. We need to support our...
The need to ensure justice in the journey to net zero by proactively making countries that are the greatest polluters contribute more in the remediations across the value chains. They urge the federal government, private sector and key players to intensify efforts at harnessing funds from the loss and damage funds for tackling ripple effects of climate change, especially in agriculture. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has issued a formal statement addressing the misfire at Neger Village in Gabeluku government area of Kaduna State. The statement issued this Monday by NAF spokesperson Air Commodore Edward Gapwet stresses that the NAF has not undertaken any air operations in Kaduna State in the last 24 hours. The statement reads, news making the rounds alleging that the NAF accidentally killed innocent civilians in an airstrike is false. The NAF has not undertaken any operations in Kaduna State in the last 24 hours. While commiserating with the casualties, the NAF says it is not the only military arm operating in the country. Some media organizations had earlier reported that villagers fingered the NAF in the incident, but the NAF was quick to refute those claims, with sources indicating that the armed drone belongs to the Nigerian Army, which is yet to address the allegations. The Nigerian Army is currently holding an aviation seminar, while the Kaduna State government is still expected to issue a statement after investigations. In view of emerging internal security challenges, the Nigerian Army has ongoing operations in the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. To enhance intelligence gathering through effective communication with the locals in different areas of deployment, the Nigerian Resource Center is developing the capacity of troops in indigenous language proficiency. The course is focusing on Hausa, Igbo and Yoruba as the three major languages.
Army is deployed in the 36 states of the country, combating one form of security challenge or the other. And it is underway to ensure that we can work in one accord with the local populace.
Not only for the service of the nation, but even on an individual basis. The benefit is immense. People are now able to communicate with their locals, with people wherever they go to, and they enjoy the patronage or the benefit of the language.
The 2023 course is the 14th in the series. The Nigerian Army is determined to ensure a trained, equipped and motivational force that will operate in line with international best practices using cutting-edge technology to enhance its operations. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, stated this in a message to the Nigerian Army workshop on aviation emergency response preparedness, tools handling and hangar management in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the program is to impact the Nigerian Army aviation personnel on the importance of proactive preparedness and effective response to aviation emergencies in its operations.
Your active participation underscores the collective dedication to the safety and efficiency of the Nigerian Army operations. Let this workshop therefore serve as a platform for fruitful discussions and valuable insights that will undoubtedly and contribute to the continued excellence of the Nigerian Army aviation.
In the realm of aviation, preparedness is not merely a virtue, it is an imperative. Our commitment to excellence is reflected in our unwavering dedication to ensuring the highest standard of emergency response.
Emergencies don't give you notice, they just happen. As such, you need to be ready at all times. And the more you understand how to handle an emergency situation, the better, so that in such situations, people hardly have time to think.
The Nigerian Army says it is adapting to new strategies in combating contemporary security challenges while defending the nation's territorial integrity. The Chief of Defense Staff has just concluded a crucial visit at the headquarters of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, during which he expressed commitment to fostering synergy between the military and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) to ensure the success of the Safe School project. Dennis Temple tells us more.
Part of the visit is to continue advocacy, capacity development and awareness creation on safe schools approach, and ultimately share intelligence and situational reports to heads of relevant agencies, and of course to formulate school host community engagement program for information gathering and security alerts. The Chief of Defense Staff emphasized the importance of collaboration in tackling security challenges facing educational institutions, stressing that a united front involving both the military and the NSCDC would enhance the effectiveness of the Safe School project and ultimately provide a safer environment for students and educators. The CDS further acknowledged the role of NSCDC in maintaining public safety and applauded their dedication, while assuring that the military would work hand in hand with the NSCDC to implement comprehensive security measures to provide a safer place for learning. Responding, Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Odi, was emphatic that the Corps will leverage on the military trainings to make the personnel productive and pledged to continue to collaborate with the military and other security agencies. The Chief of Defense Staff inspected the National Safe Schools Response Coordination Center to interface with the Commander Teso Shapira. Dennis Temple, NTA News.
This news desk at 3 is broadcast live on NTA News 24 from Abuja. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and the Commonwealth Secretariat have commenced discussions on profitable prospects for deep-sea mining in Nigeria's coastal waters. This was when the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, visited the institution. Alake said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has identified the solid minerals sector as a pillar of Nigeria's current efforts to diversify the economy, and the Commonwealth as an institution has the expertise to support the administration's effort. The Commonwealth's Senior Director Trade, Oceans and Natural Resources Department, Paul Katoki, commended the federal government for partnering with the organization for such a huge project, noting that Nigeria as a coastal country could explore the profitable prospect of extraction of deep-sea minerals such as copper, cobalt, nickel, gold, and rare earth elements. Nigeria's participation at the International Conference on AIDS and STIs in Africa, ongoing in Zimbabwe, has further opened the country to valuable knowledge about the challenges and solutions to the HIV/AIDS pandemic on the continent. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who stated this at a state dinner organized in honor of participating First Ladies at the conference, says she looks forward to implementing some of the sustainable solutions back in Nigeria. She said one of the strategies that would be deployed will be working closely with communities to addressing recurring issues and find sustainable solutions.
Increase advocacy, remove stigma and shame. So AIDS shouldn't be a stigma to anyone. We've come a long way with AIDS. It's not just sweeping it under the rug. It's going to affect the next generation of young people. So that is why, when I go home, we have to hype the campaign through advocacy, different media, social media, whatever we can use.
An interactive panel session which was held earlier, the First Ladies renewed their commitment to ending mother-to-child HIV/AIDS transmission and eradication of new infections by the year 2023. The First Ladies were also treated to Zimbabwe hospitality and taken on the Zambezi River, followed by a visit to the Victoria Falls. The Zambezi is the fourth longest river in Africa and the largest flowing into the Indian Ocean from Africa. The First Ladies present include that of Botswana, Neo-Jane Masisi, Mozambique, Dr. Isura Ferro Yusi, the host, First Lady of Zimbabwe, Auxilia Nagwagwa, and Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, who is accompanied by First Lady of Ekiti State, Professor Olayemi Oyebanji. The second Niger Bridge has been officially handed over to the federal government 7 months after its inauguration. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, received the project on behalf of the federal government. Susan Esu reports.
Ceremony at the Asaba end of the bridge, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, expressed satisfaction with the job, which he says is done according to standard specification.
The structures we are seeing are the structures for the tolling plaza. The route is going to be completed when we have completed the two interchanges. One is taking us off from the Asaba town, so that if you are coming to this bridge, you don't have to go through the Asaba town and encounter a lot of hold-up. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very committed to completing this project so that tolling can start. However, if we get an investor who is prepared to fund the two interchanges, why not? We hand over the project for construction under our HDMI program.
Other issues observed in the course of inspection, the minister says, will be fixed for easy and safe movement during the festive season.
The light issue, and we've put it together on how to permanently have light, especially at night. And what we have agreed is to deploy solar solution to that in the coming weeks, so that every night we don't have to run diesel, we have to run on solar.
Managing Director of the construction firm and the Director Bridge Design and Construction South in the Federal Ministry of Works say the job is completed to the highest quality. The 1.6-kilometer bridge is intended to ease the perennial traffic congestion on the first Niger Bridge and is funded by the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund. In Asaba, Susan Esu, NTA News.
Faith in God can be an extraordinary source of strength and hope, especially for those living with disabilities. Ibrahim Hamidu reports how people with disabilities are determined to overcome such barriers they face in life and promote inclusion through an international disability dialogue at the National Christian Center in Abuja.
One aspect of faith is the belief in a higher power that transcends physical limitations. These worshippers in faith recognize that their worth is not solely determined by a world that sees physical abilities, but rather by their inherent value as human beings created by God.
The day you make yourself useful for the Lord, the enemy cannot hold you again.
The International Disability Dialogue event featured captivating talks and testimonies from individuals who have overcome obstacles and achieved remarkable milestones in their lives.
Disability cannot stop us from participating in worship.
There are some of us that can be pastors. There are some of us that have the calling, and when they call, God uses everyone.
Disability primarily is a factor that we assess as men. You know, when you look at somebody, you begin to observe some things and say this one is disabled. But in the eyes of God, they are not disabled men. Primarily, they are not disabled men because the full man is not this body.
The third edition of the International Disability Dialogue event at the National Christian Center serves as a reminder that working together, embracing diversity, and fostering inclusion can pave way for a society where every individual, regardless of the state of one's body, can thrive and fulfill their potential. In Abuja, Ibrahim Nahamidu, NTA News.
Thousands of orphans and vulnerable children felt the love of humanity through the touch of non-government organization Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care in Abuja. The message during the end-of-year celebration is the need for corporate organizations to support victims of insurgency, orphans and vulnerable children in the society. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
The atmosphere is one of joy and celebration as about 2,000 orphans from different parts of Nigeria, victims of Boko Haram attacks, including 12-year-old Ali Amadu, who was run over by Boko Haram motorcycle when he was less than 2 years old, gather for some merriment. Other vulnerable children in the society, like these quadruplets from Nasarawa State, who lost their mother at childbirth, were not left out of the event. They are deeply appreciative to Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care for being their succor and help in time of need.
Thank you for Uncle Nuhu and Uncle Ego. They take me like their son.
But the father of the babies actually decided to abandon them because he said he can't take care of 4 babies.
Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care has over the years assisted vulnerables in the society in the area of medical bills, education and other forms of community charity. Founder of the NGO Nuhu Fulani Kwajafar and the daughter of the former military president of Nigeria Aisha Babangida call on public-spirited individuals and corporate organizations to join hands in putting smiles on the faces of the less privileged in Nigeria.
We have raised over $5 to $6 million for children that can't pay medical bills all over Nigeria, the US, UAE, UK, everywhere, including South Sudan. So it's really difficult. It hasn't been easy in the last 17 years, but the most happiest thing that what gives us joy is the smiles you see on the faces of the recipients. That give you more joy, more than $1 million.
Supporting those that are looking after the orphan, to remind them that this is trust from God. So to remind them that, you know, the rewards that is with God, so that they're able to do what they can truthfully and sincerely to these young children.
Like Ali Amadu, who is already on the path of greatness, 10 other orphans got scholarship as part of the 2023 end-of-year celebration. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
The Russia-Ukraine war is one with global consequences and has become a tragedy to the Ukrainians as well as being a threat to European security. This was the take-home from the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office media briefing with international media organizations. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
2 years gone, and the war in Ukraine has continued without the Russians retreating nor the Ukrainians surrendering. The global effect cannot be underestimated as world leaders call for an end to the war. For the United Kingdom, there is no relenting in utmost support for Ukraine, a formidable ally, with a determination to stand by Ukraine until the end of the war.
We're clear that Russia could end this war by withdrawing its troops now. However, there is no sign that President Putin has given up on his aim of subjugating Ukraine, but he is doing that despite the high costs to his own side.
But Ukraine has made progress. I think it's important to note it has recaptured almost half of the territory that Russia illegally seized since the beginning of this conflict, which is amazing.
Of concern is the global consequences of the war, which they say has affected global food security, aside Ukraine's inability to feed the world.
Fundamentally, the UK supports Ukraine's right to export its products from its ports through whatever routes it chooses.
At the same time, we've continued to work with Ukraine, so the UK has contributed a total of £8 million to President Zelensky's Grain from Ukraine initiative.
To continue to undermine Russia's ability to fund and wage its war against Ukraine, and that includes by cracking down on circumvention or attempts by Russia and its enablers to skirt the impact of our sanctions.
It was revealed that UK will continue to support Ukraine until the war in Ukraine comes to an end. And one thing they have agreed and consented to is that until Vladimir Putin of Russia stops and ends the invasion, they will not end the support. From London, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.